Welcome back to the Texas League Roundup. I'm your host, Jeff Power. We're here in beautiful Frisco, Texas, and we recently got a chance to catch up with legendary pitcher Tommy John. He got his career started in 1963 with the Cleveland Indians, and that major league career lasted all the way until 1989 with the New York Yankees. He finished with 288 career wins and probably is most known for what later became known as Tommy John surgery. Here's his story.
63 was my first year in the major leagues. And, I pitched just well enough with Cleveland to get traded to the White Sox, which was a blessing for me because I got to be around Al Lopez and a pitching coach named Ray Barris. And those guys really taught me how to pitch. And from there on, it was each step was a step upward. Went to the Dodgers, had 7 good years with the Dodgers, and one really good year, 1974.
When people think of 1974, Americans think of Watergate, which of course got President Richard Nixon impeached. But the baseball world was enjoying an all-California World Series with the Oakland A's defeating the Los Angeles Dodgers. Tommy John was 13-3 with LA, but had a very important decision thrusted upon him when he blew out his left pitching elbow prior to the postseason. Dr. Frank Jobe had an idea, and Tommy John was the perfect candidate. You have to understand, no surgery meant no pitching future for John, according to Dr. Jobe. But replacing the torn ulnar collateral ligament with a stronger ligament in Tommy's right forearm was also risky, especially considering Dr. Jobe said there was less than a 10% chance of Tommy ever pitching again. Tommy John's surgery was born, and the rest is history.
He made me whole, and I made Dr. Jobe famous, and between the two of us, we had a pretty good surgery named after me.
Prolonging Tommy John's career was an understatement. He became the first professional athlete to successfully undergo the surgical repair of that elbow ligament, pitching another 14 years after rehabbing in 1975. John won another 164 games after the surgery, making the All-Star team in 1978, 79, and 80. He even played in all 3 Yankee-Dodgers World Series matchups, coming up short twice with LA and once with New York in 1981.
My first game as a Yankee, we're 0-2, and I'm pitching on Easter Sunday. And the first 5 pitches as a Yankee were balls. Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4. I walked Molitor, Yount came up, ball 1. People are booing and all this and that. And you suck, John, go back to the Dodgers. And I ended up scraping out of the inning with only 1 run, and I shut him down for another 6. And Gossage came in and won a 2-1 ball game. But it taught me that people in New York can be critical, but if you do your job, you work hard and keep your nose clean, they can also be loving. And never in my life have I ever experienced the love that the Yankee fans showed me when my son Travis fell and was in a coma in 1981. And to this day, I can go in New York City and people will ask me, how's the kid that fell? How's the kid that fell? Well, the kid that fell will soon be 32 years old. And he's married and he has a child. And so, as much as New Yorkers get criticized for not having any heart, they are very, very loving people. And I will never forget what they did for the Tommy John family in 1981.
And speaking of New York, John is only the 2nd Yankee ever to earn at least 20 victories in his first 2 seasons pitching with the Pinstripers. Tommy has become a living legend of sorts among the younger players facing arm trouble.
Some of the younger kids ask me if that was me that had the surgery or my father. And a lot of times I say, it was my dad. I said, I'm too young to have that. And they looked at me, yeah, that's right, you are, aren't you? Yeah.
Over 150 players have had Tommy John surgery, and a lot of them are currently pitching quite well following the ligament replacement, including Chris Carpenter, A.J. Burnett, Francisco Liriano, Tim Hudson, Billy Wagner, and Joakim Soria. The game's most high-profile rookie pitcher, Mark Strasburg, joined the list of pitchers to have Tommy John surgery and is expected to make a full recovery. No matter how you look at it, Tommy says he will always be attached to the surgery.
I will be dead. I'll be dust in the casket. And there'll be Tommy John surgery will still be out there because there'll be guys trying to throw the ball too hard for radar guns, for scouts to read, and there'll be showcases for kids to go out and overthrow and hurt their elbows. There'll always be a Tommy John surgery because I don't think we can ever perfect our motions and everything to where it's going to take the stress off your elbow and our shoulder.
Tommy John wrapped up his baseball career, at least for now, when he stepped down as manager of the Bridgeport Bluefish in the Atlantic League in 2009. He's still involved with the game, working for Sportable Scoreboards in Texas while living in Arlington. He's also helping to promote a book he truly believes in, A Glove of Their Own, which is a children's book with a giving message that teaches about life through the eyes of young baseball players.
A guy named Bob Solomon came up to me and told me the layout of the book, and it sounded good because it was one of the best movies I ever saw was Pay It Forward. And you know, if you can do something to help out those who don't have, I think that's why we're here. And you have these young kids playing baseball on the playgrounds and at the ball fields, and they didn't have the equipment, and this old gentleman came by and saw their plight and went around, and all of a sudden, a week or so later, there was a big box of gloves, shoes, bats, balls, and all this stuff. And you know, it's what life is about. It's what baseball is about. Playing ball, not having a lot to play with, and somebody comes and sees these kids having fun and said, hey, I want to do something to help these kids out. I tell you, it's a great book. It's fun. It's in rhyme. It's fun. Sometimes if you're out, you'll see Yogi, you'll see Doug Glanville, you'll see Dick Drago, you'll see Tommy John. We'll be out to book signings and all this stuff, and it's worth something to go online, buy it, and give it out as Christmas presents or birthday presents.
Great to see Tommy John again. Of course, he lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The book is called A Glove of Their Own. It's a great read by Diane Rossi. Make sure you pick up a copy. Hey, coming up on the show, we'll have the Power Plays of the Week as we put a wrap on the Texas League Roundup from here in Frisco.